Hi all, and thanks for watching. In this video, I just want to show you how you can set up your Half-Life 2 with the Cinematic Mod and ENB with SweetFX in order to give it kind of a remastered look. Here is a picture from one of my recordings of gameplay, and this is just a screenshot from in the game, but this is one of the variations that you can use for Alex when you're using the Cinematic Mod. And what I'll do is I'll start by going over the files in Steam that we have to install first. And that would be, let me just bring up my Steam here. That would be, you want to install your Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2. And as well, you're going to want to install these source tools with it. Now, I created my own area for them just so that I could do this video to keep them kind of all together. Now, in order to find your tools, you just have to tell it you want to look at tools in your list, and we'll list them off. And then what I did was, after viewing them in the uncategorized here, I just right clicked on them. So we'll just go to Half-Life here, and what I did was I said add to and just created a new collection, naming it Half-Life 2 and source files. And then I placed each one of the files there so that it would just kind of keep them in order. So let's go back up here and we'll just close that off. Now, once you install Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2 as well as the source SDKs, which, as I said, you'll get those under tools, then you're pretty much all set. Although you do want to make just a couple changes after you get them installed. The first changes are to the actual Half-Life games, and you're going to right click on those, select properties, and then you're going to go to the updates. Sorry, where is that? I thought it would be updates. Betas. Okay, sorry, betas. I thought it was local files. So you just want to go to betas here. Sorry about that. And then just set it to the beta updates right there. And then you're going to go through each one of them here. And you're going to do the same thing. Properties, betas, and you want to set it to the beta updates. Okay. So once you've done that with the 3, then you're good with those ones. And you want to just make sure that they are fully up to date. Now, mine are out of sync because I'm having to reload everything here, and I'm hoping I haven't lost my original saves when everything syncs up. Hopefully everything will be back to normal for me. Now, the last change that you want to do is, after installing the source files here, the SDK 2006, 2007, and 2013 single player, you want to go to that and go to the properties, the betas, and set it to upcoming right there. Now that we've done all that, we're good. We just need the actual ENB with SweetFX files and the cinematic files. Now, in order to install those files, we actually have to close Steam while we're installing it. So let's close off our Steam. And first, I'll just, you want to go to the ENB with SweetFX and just download that. It's a manual download. As well, then you want to go to the Fakefactory Cinematic Mod, which I do have both links on my video. And once you're here, you'll see that they have the final 1.25 update. So what this means is you'll have to actually download the 9 parts plus the 1.24 update and then the 1.25 update. And you can do that here by just going down, and we'll look here at the mods that they have, and you're going to go down to the files and see here the second group which says files. Now, I don't use a torrent, so I've never actually downloaded the torrent one. But what you want to do is you can download this update here. Just right click, open the links, open link, and do that with this one too. Okay, so we have 1.24, 1.25, and then we have the 987, so we'll say more files. And same thing, just open the link for each one so that you get all those open. This just saves you having to go through each page one by one. Okay, so now that we've got them all open, all I'm going to do is do the download now on each one, and you want to make sure that you get all the parts. Now once you've downloaded all the parts to your download, whatever location that is, you should have them all grouped up together. So I'll go to my downloads here. In here I've already downloaded all the parts, 1 to 9, the 1.24 update, as well as the 1.25 update, and I have the ENB with SweetFX here. So we'll just open this back up. Now they don't really seem to have instructions for installing it. Let me just look here. Yeah, see, this is just mainly information on the actual project that they're working on here. And so that's kind of why I'm making this video, to make it a little easier for people to be able to install this and play the game as I am on my YouTube videos. So basically, now that we've got all the files here and your Steam is closed, let's just make sure, yep, Steam's closed. We're going to go to the part 1 here. We're going to run it. I'm using WinRAR, and I'll just open it and run the installer. Now keep all the files together like this, because they do run from the one here. So we'll just do this, and this will actually uncompress, then it should start running. Now the nice thing about WinRAR is normally you can run files from inside WinRAR, and you can make changes to the files, update the files, which some of the compression programs won't let you do. You basically have to, if you want to make a change, you have to extract the files, make the change, and then recompress. So I do like WinRAR in that sense. Now it is a free program. You can use it freely. However, it does have kind of a pop-up that comes up every once in a while for advertising. So if you do decide that you want to donate and get the full version, that will eliminate those pop-ups. So we'll just give this a moment. And as you can see, it's actually extracting all the big files. So we're just going to wait while that finishes up. We're just about there, in the 90s. And again, I've run part 1. Okay, so let's get this started. Alright, so you should get the setup window here. And as I said, make sure that you have your Steam turned off at this point. Okay, and we'll just quickly go through here. And we'll just leave it as it is. Okay, there's the shortcut folder, Fakefactory CM213, and we're just going to finish that. Now all you have to do is just let it unpack and install. So at this point, I'm just going to let the video run while it's installing this. This will take a few minutes, and I don't really have good software for editing and like speeding up parts of videos and stuff. So what I'll do is I'll actually pause it at this point and restart the video once this install part is completed, and then I'll splice them together. Hopefully you don't mind that. I'm sure you don't want to sit here for the next 5 minutes just watching files install. So like I said, I'll be right back in a moment. Okay, so I'm back, and it's finished extracting the files from the Half-Life 2 game that it needs in order to install, and it's all set. So we're going to just hit next here, and we'll just hit next again. Some of this does come up in German, but this is for Visual C++ 2005 Service Pack 1. So we'll say ja, or hopefully I pronounced that right. Okay, so it's just going to go through, install a few required files, and then continue on with the installation. Oh, okay, so I seem to already have it. Perhaps mine was damaged. My drive actually developed bad sectors. I didn't realize that a SSD could do that. I was always under the assumption that yes, they could go bad, but no, they wouldn't develop bad sectors like an HDD. But that was the case, and this is why we're here now as I reinstall the game. So let's do a repair. Okay, we'll just finish that, and we'll do the DirectX. Just let that install. Now after DirectX 9, most companies switched over to consoles and switched to a very basic version of DirectX. So what we have now is really limited compared to what we used to have for PCs, but it does install all the files that you need. So here we're finished, and as you can see it says please start your Steam client, click finish to exit installer. Okay, now I don't want to open Steam just yet because we still have to do the 1.24 and the 1.25 updates. So we'll do those first. We'll start by doing the 1.24. And here's the pop-up that I talked about with WinRAR. And you normally just close it and you can continue to use our software free. But if you do want to donate to them, that will get rid of that. And it is, I find, one of the better extractors and compressors. So we'll do the 1.24 update here, and again it's just going to extract, and then we'll install it here. And as it says, see, please make sure Steam isn't running. So that's why you really don't want to turn it on right after you finish the first part, because you do want to do these parts and you'll have to keep turning it off and on. So let's just install this next part. And we'll just wait for it to finish placing the files. This will probably take a few minutes. Each part does take a few minutes, but I mean you're basically redoing the entire game, top to bottom. Characters, weapons, environment, the buildings, vehicles, guards, other enemies, things like that. This is a total revamp of the game. So it's basically you're kind of like remastering it. Now, you do require the original 3 so that it can extract sound files and other files from those, and that's why you need the whole package. So if you just have Half-Life 2, this won't work for you. You do need all 3 parts. Okay, so we'll... Now, if you've previously selected Nighttime Coast sequence, do the following: deselect, restart, and reselect. Okay, so I'm gonna probably have to do that since I did actually play the Nighttime Coast last time. It's just a variation in the game, so that the time during the game looks like it's progressing, so that it's not just... Sorry about that. That's my cat. What is my cat doing? Ruby, please stop. I chose to do this when everybody was at school or college so that I wouldn't have any interruptions, but it seems my cat is working against me at this moment. So let's just finish this, and I'll just keep that nighttime configurator option in mind, and we'll click finish. Okay, we'll close those off, and now we'll do the last update, 1.25. Same thing. Okay, readme patch 1.25. Let's see, how does this... I think this one was a drag and drop. Let me just double check that readme. Okay. Oh, it doesn't say. CM. Do I see? There's the configurator, the 3 launchers. I'm almost thinking I might just have to drag and drop that one. Okay. Let's see. We'll minimize that for now. And yeah, I'm thinking that this is just a drag and drop one. So we'll try that, and I'll run the game right after. Sorry, it's been a while since I did this one. So I'm gonna just actually open my Steam here. Alright. So now that I've opened Steam, I'm gonna go to my library. And actually what I want to do is first go to Half-Life 2, the beta here, right click on that and say manage, and then browse local files. Okay, so now that we have the actual folder open, and we're just going to go back to the common here. Now let's see. There is the cinematic mod, CM213. Okay, so we're going to go to that there. And let me just have a look. Episode 0, 1, 2. That was it. I'm sure it's drag and drop, but he actually renamed one of the launchers. So now that we're here, and actually if you have to do it manually, if you want to get to this location manually, I'll show you here. You would go to your C drive, program files, Steam apps, and common, and all your games will be listed there. Okay, so again, we'll go back into the Half-Life 2 cinematic, and here we'll look at the 3 launchers. Now if you look here, episode 1, episode 2, and then Half-Life 2, where here he has episode 0, episode 1, and episode 2. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to rename this one to HL2 to match the one from over here. Okay, and then we're going to drag and drop this into the game folder. So this is the 1.25 update, and we're just going to drag that and drop it over top and tell it to overwrite any of the files here. Okay, so we're going to replace the files in the destination, and I'll actually close that off. Now here we can see the configurator, and the configurator does have SweetFX options in it, but we're actually going to add the ENB with SweetFX, and that will actually integrate with theirs. So we'll just select this. Let's just open that window a bit more. Okay, so we're gonna drag and drop this into the Cinematic Mod folder, and they do use the same SweetFX, so just say replace the files. Okay, now the D3D9 here, you're going to take that and you're going to cut that and paste that into the bin folder. That's the ENB file. Okay, now we're going to do that because what happens is the configurator creates the SweetFX D3D9, which overwrites the ENB one from the configurator, but I actually have the files referenced differently so that the SweetFX is renamed and you can run the two together. So after we do the configurator, I'll move the other file back. So I'll just show you here. So we'll run that now that we've got it updated. Okay, now what it said was if I was playing the nighttime, I would have to unselect it and say OK, and then reopen it. Oh, copy files. Okay, and we'll say yes. So we'll do the co-sequence at night. Now here, where is the SweetFX? You want to do that, and we'll set it on the Half-Life 2. That is actually the one that I created right here, and the Half-Life 2 original is the original one I created. So you just want to set that on that. And now as far as the game goes, I wouldn't turn on weapon recoil. Weapon recoil is kind of hard to compensate for. Your weapon will tend to stray, and it is kind of hard. But that's really up to you. So this is how I'm going to set it. Okay. Now, if you don't want the new weapons, you can unclick that. Same with these different things. Just look it over. Now, there are other options, but I'll let you go through those. This is basically just how I have it set. Okay, and this is now set on my SweetFX from the ENB SweetFX, and we'll say OK. Alright, now you want to go back into the bin folder here, and you want to make a copy of that D3D9, the ENB file that we moved over here. So, where are you? There you are. Alright, so we'll make a copy of this, and we'll just move back to the main folder, and we'll place that there. Okay, so we're all set as far as the files go. So I'm just going to close everything, and we're going to go back here. Alright, so now we've got it installed, so we want to add it to our Steam. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Games, and we're going to add a non-Steam game to the game library. Okay, now I don't think it will come up. Yes, the configuration tool is there. Character Pimper. Although it doesn't seem to have the actual starting files. Let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. Steam Common. Okay, so we'll add all three. And as you can see from the location, this is the cinematic mod. Now, if they weren't listed, we would just add a selected program. Well, oh, I guess because I had selected those ones. Okay. Oh, I added the selected program. Sorry. That's how you add them. Now, if it wasn't listed, you go Browse, and then you would actually go to the location in Steam, go to the folder, and then you would go to each one of these and you would add them. Once you added them, then they would appear here in the list, and you could again add them to the Steam as a launcher. Okay, so we'll just close that off. Now this will come up in the uncategorized, so we have to actually go through and find them here. Okay. Now, did they come up as Half-Life? Yes. Here we go. So episode 0, 1, 2. Okay, and we're going to right-click on those and say add to the Half-Life 2. I just like to keep it kind of grouped for this. And same thing, Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 2. Alright, so now we have the cinematic mod here. And what we want to do is give it a test. So we'll start with just running it here. Oh, okay. Now that one there was the one that was linked to the file that I changed the name. So let's just check the other ones here. Okay, so episode 1 and 2 are running. So I just have to correct that one launcher. Oh, of course. The video is not set, so I will have to configure it. And with ENB with SweetFX, you do also want to turn off the in-game anti-alias options. Okay, so for the options here, let's alter that video to 4K. Apply that. And we want to just set the anti-alias mode to none. Make sure that's set, and you're good to go. Now you want to do that with each game, but first we'll just fix that one link. So if you have the same issue, then it's easy enough to fix. So just go to properties. Okay, we're gonna change the location. Now let's see, launcher, episode 1, episode 2, Half-Life 2, okay. So we want the launcher Half-Life 2 exe. And we're going to say okay. And now that we've done that, we can close that shortcut off and give it a try again. Excellent. Okay, so we corrected the issue with the shortcut location, and that was just due to renaming that file. And that is one thing you want to do, because if you don't rename the file and the two are there, as you saw, it will automatically default to the 1.24, and that may cause some issues when you're trying to play, as well as crashes, and you don't really want that. So again, we'll just set it to the proper visual setting. Okay. Now, one thing I like to do is just slightly adjust the brightness to about 1.9, 1.8, and you'll see that the light settings are fairly good, and just say OK. Right. Now, when the game started, you probably noticed up in the upper left the ENB running, and you can check the ENB with SweetFX by pressing your scroll lock, and you'll see the game, the edges along the pipes and such, a lot of the detail. While it's in vanilla, it's fairly rough, the picture. So once we turn it on, it kind of brings up the color a bit, fixes the shadows, and you can see that all the edging on the pipes is now nice and smooth, so it takes down a lot of your edges, and you'll find it helps the overall game effects. And at this point, I'm going to check and see if my old games are there. So let's see. Oh. Unfortunately, my games did not survive. So if you are watching my playthrough, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to actually catch up to that part that I played to in my present playthrough. And once I get to that part, then I'll have to continue on recording to finish that up. Okay, but at least we have it all set again. Okay. So I'm just going to quit this, and we're pretty much all finished. Now you can't use these ones, I don't think. Let's see, manage. Oh yeah, we can browse to local files. So again, if you want to run the configurator, just right click and go to the browse local files. Oh, okay, so that one's not going to work. So then go to Steam. Sometimes the games that you add won't let you use some of the functions, so just browse to the Half-Life 2 folder here. Is it? Oh, okay, so so it went to the Half-Life 2, and we'll just go back to common, then the CM213 or 2013, and you run that configurator and check the character pimper. And this here is, if you look underneath each one, it says what location in the game you're going to be. This is episode 1, episode 2, and this is the first game. And by default, this is Alex here. Now you can go through and choose any one of these types of Alex, and they will appear in game in place of the existing one. Now I chose, let's see, I chose one that was fairly close. And there are quite a few here. Let's see, where is the one that I chose? Close. Let's see. Now you can choose any one of them. There's just quite a few. Now one thing is her eye color has changed, but her character overall is pretty much the same. Where is the one that I used? I had her with the short hair. There we go. Right next to the original, of course. Right on the bottom here. So that's the one I'm using. It's fairly close to the original. And we'll install that selected model. And we'll say yes. Okay, now for episode, we'll do that for all the parts of it. You want to set the character so that she's consistent throughout the game. As well, we're going to alter some other characters in the game. Okay, and once we've done that, then we're all set. So what you can do here is, if you'd like to make time look like it's progressing, is you can use the next model over and have her with a longer hair, and there's different head pieces that she can have. So these three here, you could set those as kind of a progression. In Half-Life 2, she's with the short hair. As episode 1 comes in, she's got the longer hair, and she's now wearing a cap. And then the third one, same thing. You could change the look any variation that you'd like, but I tend to stay fairly close. Okay. Over here. Okay, so that's Alex all set. And here are the main characters. And we can update Barney. And we'll just do each one of them. And this will basically make the whole game look remastered. Now I'm using this one. I find she looks more pleasant in this one. This one she looks kind of upset. And this one she kind of looks Victorian. So I like this one. So we'll do that one. Okay, there's the priest and Breen. Now when you choose the new character overlays, everything in the game changes to reflect that new character look. So video screens, stuff like that, will have the new character appearances. So it is an overall change. And here you can select variations. So I like this one. He's fairly similar to the original, but he does have a bit of color. So I'll just say yes. And these are all high def models. Now as far as civilians, we'll switch the civilians to the new characters. This gives them new uniforms, new outfits. I don't think it changes anything they say since it uses the original sound files. It's mostly cosmetic. But we'll just let that install. Okay. And now combine. So we'll switch to the newer. No, that's not the newer one. That's the newer one. And we'll say yes. Okay, so we've got all our models set, everything set. We can close that, say okay. And we can close off the folders. Open up your Steam. And that's basically it. You're all set. Start the game up, and you should be able to play no problems. So let's see. Okay, let's try this. We'll update. Okay, August. That's the one. Okay. Let's see. Now, how does that affect this one? Just want to check one last time, see if I am going to have to play the game through again. Yep. Yeah. Oh well. That's no biggie. I don't mind playing this game, and Remastered, it's quite nice. So you should be all set by now, and hopefully you'll enjoy your game. Now, as I was saying earlier, when I was actually thinking I was finishing up there just before doing the characters, if you do have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you'd like. I'd appreciate it. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Take care and have a great day.